Chapter 15. In Greece, Orpheus, Linus, Musaeus, and other revealers of mysteries proclaim the program of salvation, presenting Persephone Kore and Dionysus, for instance, as saviours of mankind. This quote-unquote Greece of Orpheus is not the scholarly construct that depicts the eulogized tiny city-state of Athens, incomparable with either the highly bureaucratized state of late-period Egypt or with the Neo-Assyrian cosmopolis and its Persian imitations. Rather, Orpheus belonged to the world of wandering demiurgoi, the performers of purifications, kathamoi, and initiations, teletai, the seers, singers, and healers able to discover the ancient guilt, Paleon Minima, as Burkert relates. Quote from Craft versus Sect, The Problems of Orphics and Pythagoreans, in Jewish and Christian Self-Definition, Volume 3, Self-Definition in the Greco-Roman World, 1982, pages 8-9. Orphic anthropogony has the story of the most ancient and most general kind of mnemema, inherent in man as such, the ancient grief of Persephone, in the words of Pindar. The myth, especially when combined with the doctrine of transmigration and the ensuing ascetic lifestyle, could have been the basis for a religion of salvation. End quote. The seers and magicians claim to be able to restore the imagined ideal state of harmonia, governed by the universal law, the Vedic Rita, as, quote, the unifying principle which animates the parts into the single cosmic machine, end quote. That quote from John Curtis Franklin's Harmony in Greek and Indo-Iranian Cosmology in the Journal of Indo-European Studies, 2002, page 8. Like the animated chariot of truth, Harmadikes, or in Sanskrit, Ratham Ritasya, drawn by a pair of horses, the divine twins. Similarly, Parmenides speaks about the axle of the chariot on which he rides. He mentions the rounded wheels, kukloi, or the whirling wheels that can bring him to the great open threshold where the Heliades Kurai, daughters of the sun, hasten to the light revealed through the eye's rounded pupil. Hence the symbol of Helios, of the Egyptian Aten, viewed as egg of the primeval fire, is the rounded, sound-like image of Cosmos Noetos, the object of contemplation, and the ergic glorification for the Thothian apes of the sun, the eastern bow. Quoting Jan Assmann's Egyptian Solar Religion in the New Kingdom, page 24, their importance lies in the fact that they represent the divine community of worshippers of the sun god, whose ranks the sun priest joins with his hymn. By praying to the sun, he becomes one of them. End quote. Orpheus, as the archetypal singer, prophet, priest, and healer, reconciles the one and the many with his prophetic lyre, and through the song of harmony, tes harmonious te oda, the later Byzantine tradition describes the divine logos as producing a kind of miraculous music, which by the means of the iunx of resonance, iunx meaning both the iunx bird and the magic iunx wheel, has the ability to charm, katakolon, and attract methylkomenos, the human soul. These iungis, plural of yunx, sometimes referred to as the tongues of the gods. They are four-spoked wheels of brass, iron, or gold, hanging from the ceilings of temples and capable of producing a seductive sound like that of the sirens. As a result, they functioned as instruments of the divine voice, an important aspect in theurgy, viewed by Sarah Johnston as a form of Platonic mysticism. Quoting Sarah Johnston's The Song of the Iunx, Magic and Rhetoric in Pythian 4, in Transactions of the American Philological Association, 125, 1995, page 183. The sounds produced by Ienge's world by the theurgists were understood to affect and influence not only individuals and objects on earth, but the heavenly bodies as well. That quote from page 182 of that text. Likewise, Orpheus's music and voice may stir human beings, animals, trees, stones, and even the gods. Persephone herself is charmed, and therefore allows him to bring up his dead wife from Hades. The enchanting Orphic song is somewhat analogous to the wind sound produced by an Yunks wheel. Its paithodolia, the charmed power of persuasion and seduction that tricks, belongs to Orpheus's divine instrument, his lyre. Nicomachus of Gerasa, the Neo-Pythagorean scholar, describes it as follows. This quote from the Manual of Harmonics of Nicomachus the Pythagorean, 1994, page 189. Hermes invented the lyre from the tortoise shell, and providing it with 7 strings, handed down the art of lyre playing to Orpheus. And Orpheus taught Thamyris and Linus taught Heracles, by whom he was killed. He also taught Amphion the Theban, who built Thebes with 7 gates after the 7 strings of the lyre. When Orpheus was killed by the Thracian woman, his lyre was thrown into the sea and was cast up in the city of Antissa in Lesbos. Fishermen found it and carried it to Terpander, and he took it to Egypt. End quote. In the Orphico-Pythagorean milieu, Musica, Mantiki, and Iantriki, music, divination, and medicine, are united in the contemplative harmony of the yoking and joining succession of order. In Sanskrit terms, yoga and yuj, that, quote, describe the harmonic connection of string to instrument and the weapons changing harmonic states. That quote from John Curtis Franklin's book, Harmony in Greek and Indo-Iranian Cosmology, page 8. Describe the harmonic connection of string to instrument and the weapons changing harmonic states.